Now, it could also very well have an issue when it comes to the affordability of something like basic protein in our country. Is not just the poultry issue Tumzo was talking about, but of course the interest rates. Let's talk about some money, and the money we're all not going to have because of what happened yesterday. The SA Reserve Bank announcing a 50 basis point hike, taking the current prime lending rate from 10.75% to 11.25%. All right, take a look at this. We thought, let's just try and make sense of everything for you, where we are. I'm going to take you back, what will be almost 13 years, really, if you want. We're looking at the months here in the last couple of years, but it's the highest interest rate in 13 years. So very, very worrying for consumers who are already struggling. So if we go all the way to the right-hand side, that big red bar, January 2023, it was 10.75. It's now gone up even higher to that. We had a bit of a green spot, about 7% in July of 2020. Now, remember, that's important because when you have the interest rate going up, it's all to do with inflation in our country. We know, of course, that the South African Reserve Bank pushes up the interest rates to try and keep the inflation rate between 3 and 6%. That's that band that we always hear about from the South African Reserve Bank. They're trying to keep it between 3 and 6%. However, that has now gone up as well. So we had this little green spot in July of 2020, and we go back to January of 2020. So we're going to go back almost 3 years. So you've got 10.75 on the far right-hand side, 9.75, a nice little valley in the middle. The question is, what happened there? What was going on? We'll talk about that in a moment, but it's now the highest it's ever been in 13 years. So you're probably wondering, take a look at this. What does that mean? Let's do the maths for you, especially for those who own houses and own cars. Take a look at what it's going to be costing you for your car and your houses. We have a graphic for that as well. So we're trying to break it down. So 7.25% is current, and prime rate is over 11% now. It's 11.25%. So what does it actually mean for your pocket? What does it mean when you start paying for your house bond at the end of the month? What does it mean for your car? And luckily, we've done the work, we've done the maths for you. So 10.75% over 20 years for your house bond would have cost you 10,152 Rand per month. Now we jump up, and it does make a big difference. So the same period for your house over 20 years, 11%, it's jumped to 10,321 Rand per month. So you are looking at a few hundred Rand more per month. So of course the same for your car, regardless of what you're driving. If it's a car of 250,000 Rand, like a little hatchback, let's work on it roughly back in January 2023, it would have cost you 4,727 Rand per month. That has now jumped up to 4,759. It doesn't sound like an awful amount, but you need to remember what's so important here is this is not paying off the capital cost of that vehicle. You're just paying more interest. You're not paying off the vehicle any faster. If you are unfortunate enough to be driving a big 4x4, never mind the fuel price, just paying for the car is tricky as well. So if it's done over 6 years, which is the most common repayment plan for cars these days, 6 years, in January of this year, a vehicle would have cost you 9,453 Rand per month. That's if it cost you 500,000 Rand. That's now gone up a little bit as well, 9,517. So just in 3 months and just a 25.25% increase, you can see what it does as far as costs are concerned. So that prime lending rate, again, to remind you, now at the highest rate it has been in 13 years. Let's try